So, hi there. My name is Mobile Kanyile, but all of my students know me as Teacher Benny. I'm just going to answer a few questions about me. What is my favorite thing about being a teacher? I really enjoy being a teacher. I think it's quite invaluable that my life's work will be that I helped children and people reach their full potential by guiding them and nurturing them and helping them get skills and knowledge. Right? The most challenging thing about being a teacher is sometimes we can be a little too hard on ourselves. Well, me personally, I can be a bit of a perfectionist. So sometimes, you walk into a lesson or a classroom and you have an idea of how things are going to go. And when situations come up, you just need to roll with them and improvise, right? I have the skills, I have all of the knowledge I have at my disposal to handle any situation in the classroom. Um, what do you think is challenging about learning a new language? A new language can be hard for a person because it can be a little bit very overwhelming. You feel like it's a whole language, it's a whole vocabulary, it's a whole way of talking. So my job is to take the students step by step and teach them one skill at a time, so that they gain confidence in their language skills of that new language. Right. A time where I made a mistake with a student. So I have worked in, I'm South African, but I have worked in China. So one of the faux pas I used to make was maybe not fully understanding the culture. So I would misunderstand a small thing like their names, right? Chinese people tend to, when you ask them what the name is, they will tell you their surname first. So I would try to, like, no, tell me what your name is, what your first name is, but I had to learn that this is the culture, and whenever I would find myself doing something that was maybe culturally inappropriate or slightly offensive, I just have to humble myself and say, I'm sorry, I didn't understand, I'm sorry, and then just politely and gracefully move on. Okay? What is my perspective on error correction in a classroom? Um, we should do it, especially as ESL teachers, because that is what the clients pay us to do. We should correct it. But for me personally, I try to be kind and soft and not too harsh when I do it, especially when I see that a student maybe is shy or they're starting to feel like they can't do it. So maybe I'll just let them continue doing the work, speaking or writing, and at the end, I will give feedback. Obviously, you sandwich it positive, then the negative, then more positive to reinforce their capabilities. So yes, I do it, but I personally, I try to be soft in the way that I do it. Okay, the next question: what could you do if a student seems nervous or untalkative? This is why it's very important to build a rapport with a student. As soon as you start talking to them, you try to build somewhat of a friendly relationship. I am a professional, but I try to be friendly, try to ascertain what their interests are, what they like talking about. If they love talking about themselves, great. I love that. Because whenever I feel like there's a lull in the class, or they're feeling overwhelmed, or things are getting a little bit tense or a little bit difficult, I can just take a pause and make a bit of small talk about whatever interests them. I like to keep files on my students, so that I can always remind myself everything about them, who they are, where they're from, what they do, what they like, and then I start talking about that. I will catch up with the students. So how did that convention you went to? How was that? How was it? Were you confident? Were you able to make new friends or get the information that you wanted? Yeah. Okay. So, is company culture important to me? Yes. Yes, it is. Um, we all hope to work in environments where the culture is positive, where the culture is professional. Um, I do have the grace where I find myself in not so great environments to handle it with a level of maturity, um, politeness, and professionalism. But I do appreciate a good uh, company culture. I do. Okay. And what do I want to know about Craving English? I'm very keen to get some feedback from the company. I would really like to know what kind of students I would be teaching, what kind of hours they need me to work, and also how Craving English prefers me to work. I'm a teacher. I definitely have worked for a long time, and I have a particular way that I teach students. But if the company, Craving English, prefers that I do things their way, I will gladly oblige. All right. Yes, I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything. All right. Yes, that seems to be all. Thank you so much for your time, and I look forward to hearing back from you. Goodbye.